Tyson's aura was one of invincibility, holding the WBC, WBA, and IBF heavyweight titles. Yet, in the other corner, a seemingly unlikely challenger, James "Buster" Douglas, prepared to etch his name into the annals of sports history. So, what dynamics inside and outside the ring turned this battle into one of the most unforgettable moments in boxing history? Join us as we delve into this clash between Mike Tyson and James Douglas. Mike Tyson was the world's unbeaten and undisputed heavyweight champion at the time of the match and was immensely popular. He was the WBC, WBA, and IBF champion. Despite several controversies that clouded Tyson's image at the time, including his allegedly abusive relationship with Robin Givens, contractual disputes between longtime manager Bill Caton and promoter Don King, and Tyson's departure from longtime trainer Kevin Rooney, Tyson was still dominant in the ring, scoring a 93-second knockout against Carl "The Truth" Williams in his previous fight. Most viewed this fight as Tyson's warm-up battle before facing the then unbeaten number one heavyweight contender Evander Holyfield, who was ringside for the fight. Tyson was regarded as such a dominant heavyweight that he was frequently regarded as the world's number one fighter pound for pound, including by Ring Magazine, a rarity for heavyweights. At that time, Buster Douglas had a mixed record as a professional boxer and was ranked number 7 among heavyweights by Ring Magazine. His previous championship defense came against Tony Tucker in 1987 when he was knocked out in the 10th round.
The winner by a TKO and new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Tony Tucker.
However, 6 straight victories earned him the opportunity to face Tyson. Douglas had a lot of personal hardships building up to the bout, including the loss of his mother, Lula Pearl, 23 days before the battle. Douglas was visibly fearless from the start of the battle. Douglas surprised everyone by having a lot of spring in his body movement and not being afraid to let his fists fly anytime he sensed an opening to strike Tyson. He used his fast and precise jab to keep Tyson from entering the area where he was most dangerous. When Tyson tried to get inside, Douglas tied him up, moved away, or would instantly hit Tyson with multiple punches as Tyson came within Douglas's range. Douglas was more graceful than Tyson early on and outlanded him in exchanges. Douglas ended the second round with a quick punch to Tyson's chin. Tyson, who appeared to be regaining his form, unleashed a powerful left to the body, making Douglas look to his corner. Tyson's cornerman, Jay Bright, yelled at his boxer after an ineffective and uninspiring third round. "You can't just stand there and stare at him, you have to do something." Boxer Sugar Ray Leonard, who was at ringside conducting HBO commentary, highlighted Douglas's domination with the jab and right hand and stated Tyson was having one of those "you just don't have it, things just don't click in" days in the ring. Douglas would continue to dominate the middle rounds, despite Tyson landing a handful of his famous uppercuts. Tyson's left eye began to swell due to Douglas's right jabs, making it difficult to see his opponent's strikes. Tyson's cornermen were taken off guard. They needed to bring Enswell or ice packs, generally standard battle equipment, because they were convinced Tyson would easily beat Douglas. They instead filled a rubber glove with cold water and placed it over Tyson's eye between rounds. At one point, Aaron Snowell, Tyson's main cornerman, hooked the chain from the identification badge hanging from his neck between the icy glove and Tyson's eye. Tyson gasped in pain as Snowell moved, the chain dragging from one side of his wounded eye to the other. As the fight progressed, confusion and panic spread in his corner. Despite Tyson's failure to execute a successful fight strategy, his corner advised him between rounds to shift his head, jab his way inside, and unleash a right punch. In the 8th round, which Douglas dominated until the final few seconds, HBO's Larry Merchant observed, "Douglas is asking of Tyson some questions he hasn't been asked before. In the last few rounds of a fight, you have to come back and win it." In the 8th round, Tyson backed up against the ropes and hit a huge right uppercut that put Douglas to the ground in the last 10 seconds.
It's up to 7 and 8. And here it is at 9. Is he going to get up? Yes, he does.
Although the knockdown timekeeper began when Douglas's backside impacted the ring's surface, the referee allegedly started 2 beats behind. Douglas stood when the referee signaled 9, but the round was over when the bell rang. Douglas clearly felt aggrieved by his error as he punched the floor with his left fist. Don King, Tyson's promoter, would subsequently argue in vain over the legality of the referee count. Tyson came out strongly in the 9th round to attempt to terminate the fight and defend his belt. Hoping that Douglas was still injured from the 8th round knockdown, Douglas could repel Tyson's strike and close Tyson's eyes. Both men exchanged blows before Douglas landed a 4-punch combination that knocked Tyson on the canvas.
Again, Buster fights back strongly, landing some big shots. And now he can't get careless. Look at that.
Douglas came up on Tyson, injured along the ropes, and launched a 4-punch barrage to knock him out. Tyson pushed forward in the 10th round, but was still in a lot of pain from the blows he had taken during the bout. Douglas measured Tyson with a couple of jabs before throwing an uppercut that wrenched Tyson's head skyward and stopped Tyson in his tracks. As Tyson fought back, Douglas landed 4 punches to the head, putting him out for the first time in his career. Tyson scrambled for his mouthpiece on the canvas in a legendary sequence before placing one end in his mouth with the other hanging out. The champion tried to get back up, but referee Octavio Mayrin called him out. As a result, Buster Douglas became the new undisputed heavyweight champion, pulling off one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. The official scores after 9 rounds were 87-86 for Tyson, 86-86 for Douglas. Douglas sobbed at the post-fight interview when asked why he could win this bout when no one expected him to. "Because of my mother, God bless her heart," the tearful new champion explained.
You know,
What are you thinking about right now? What do you feel right now, this very moment?
I feel
Where's
great.
Lamar? How many did you
I feel relieved.
Coming
I feel
in,
You
satisfied.
did it for your mother?
I did it for my mother. I did it for my team. I did it for my...
Before Douglas could celebrate his victory, King convened a news conference to contest the result. He boldly claimed that the count in the 8th round was too lengthy, although HBO and many American media had deemed the fight unworthy of their time. According to King, Douglas should have been counted out. As a result, Tyson should remain the champion. Octavio Mayrin, the referee, was obliged to apologize for his mistake. The WBC and Suleiman appeared to be on board as well.
Under those circumstances, I am presently withholding the recognition to whatever decision was issued today and calling a meeting in Mexico City.
As Douglas returned from Tokyo, it was still being determined if he would be crowned world champion. After plans for a rematch fell through, Douglas faced #1 contender Evander Holyfield in his maiden championship defense. Holyfield knocked out an overweight Douglas in the 3rd round, weighing 14.5 pounds, 6.6 kilograms, more than in the Tyson battle. Douglas stepped down following the match. 6 years later, after nearly dying in a diabetic coma, he returned and won several fights against journeyman competition. In 1999, he competed for the final time. Despite rumors of a rematch with Tyson throughout the 1990s, they never met again. After the Douglas fight, Tyson fought 4 more times before being convicted of raping beauty pageant finalist Desiree Washington in 1991. Bobby Brown, one of Tyson's close pals, has revealed why Iron Mike lost that night, 32 years after the shot. After confessing in an A&E interview, it appears that the 53-year-old artist significantly influenced Tyson's defeat in Tokyo. Me and Mike Tyson are still friends to this day, but there was a period where we partied in Japan just before his bout with Buster Douglas. We partied like really, really, really hard, Bobby Brown continues. They had multiple women in their rooms. There must have been at least 24 girls in the room with me and Mike. We partied. And I was trying to get him to get some rest. He finally got some sleep in the ring. Please don't put that part in. He's gonna kill me. Sleep and a good diet are critical in a high-pressure sport like boxing, and Tyson had to learn this the hard way. Sleep deprivation robbed him of his unblemished record. The baddest man on the planet fought 58 times, winning 50 of them, 44 of them by knockout. He was only defeated 6 times. Are our perceptions of underestimation just as fragile as a champion's title? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, remember to like and subscribe to stay updated on all our latest content.